Hi everyone, my name is Alex. Welcome to my channel. Today we have a kind of unusual reading. You guys feel free to choose your group while I explain why exactly this reading is not like the others and why I really wanted to do it. We have three groups today. The Darkwood Tarot, the Gilded Tarot, and the Vice Versa Tarot. So three groups. Choose your group. This reading is going to be about trust issues. And I recently started working with horses, and they've kind of inspired me to make this video. I know many people have trust issues, and I think it's important to talk about it. And today I wanted to make something that will help you guys a little bit to overcome the problem if you have it. Obviously, if you clicked on this video, you want to know more. So yeah, we will be talking about your trust issues, the reason for your trust issues to be present in your life, and we're gonna pull some advice from different decks on how to overcome your trust issues. Okay, for some of the groups, I'm gonna have to pull clarification cards for people. And if we have to do that, I'm gonna do it. So, yeah. Pick your group. I'll see you at your pile. Hello and welcome, pile 1. If you guys chose the Darkwood Tarot, this is going to be your reading about trust issues. Before we start with the tarot, I would like to use Archetypes deck for a little bit of different reason. We're not gonna look at the person, but we're gonna look at the nature of your trust issues, or sort of what are your trust issues like? How do they present themselves in your life? That sort of question. I'm gonna figure out this reading as we go because I'm not a fan of planning, so bear with me. Okay, oops. For pile number 1, what are pile number 1's trust issues? Interesting as always. Okay, you guys got... Oop. I never know how to play this card correctly. Place this card correctly. So we have the Ring, we have the Mystic, and we have Anima Mundi with a bunch of stuff here. And I guess you are my magical pile today, pile 1, because you do have number 21, and this card, in tarot, this is the World card. Yeah, so your trust issues could be related to karmic cycles, because we do have the Ring, and we have the rings over here, and the star, and it tells me that your trust issues could be presented in the form of karmic cycles, like repeating events. For example, men in your family die at the age of 33, you know, or it could be something less dramatic, like you're being robbed every 5 years, or in August you seem to have a lot of money loss, you know, so those types of events. And because we're speaking about trust issues and talking about trust issues, I think that this is not just kind of your life experiences. I think you have those trust issues because of the karma from previous lives and from previous generations. You probably have changed a lot as a person, as an individual, and people around you couldn't accept it much, and you chose to hide that. That could be an issue too. Like, you chose not to show your real self because nobody really wanted to see your real self. Nobody wanted to accept you, not your... They all kind of like your old version, the traditional version of you, and they don't understand that the person you've become is actually more truthful, more real you. And they just never saw that side coming. They didn't expect that. So you kind of chose to close off. By the way, forgive for my speech tone today. I'm overcoming a bit of illness, so please bear with me as I skipped the last week's reading. I'm very sorry for that, but we're gonna fix that. Okay, back to your reading. We do have 21 as the World card, and we do have the Eye. So perhaps you are like a media popular persona. Maybe you're a singer or a life coach with a big reputation to defend, or a big picture that you present that you have to hold on to. Like, you have the media version of you and you have the real version of you, and once you started leaking that real version into your media version, things got a little bit crazy and a lot of people have left you, which is totally fine. You don't have to be scared of changing yourself. And if you have trust issues because of that, and your problem and mistrust in people is because they left you once you've shown them your real side, those were just not your people. Because trust me, your people, they will understand and accept you and the changes that you make gladly. Your friends, your real friends, will always support you, will always be on your side no matter how crazy you go. They might tell you like, hey, Susan, you might want to go see a psychiatrist because the shit you just did is kind of crazy. But they're going to tell you. They're not going to just leave you and not explain anything. If they have a reason to leave you, they will tell you about it because they trust you. With the ring here, you could have been married for some of you, not for all of you, but you could have been married and you could have exposed your real persona in the marriage after, sort of the big wedding and all that. And once again, the people or your partner could have not accepted you the way you really are. But see, like, you cannot disguise people's, like, you cannot disguise yourself in people's eyes intentionally. You know, you can have problems with expressing your real self because you feel uncomfortable, and that's totally valid and totally fine, and you can work on that. That's up to you. But if you intentionally went into a relationship and you presented yourself as a different version of yourself that you actually are, that's kind of unfair, don't you think? But that's just my opinion. So we also have the Anima Mundi card here. And with the Mystic, I think you see more than most people do. You see the world from different angles and different perspectives, and you can see through layers, if you know what I'm talking about. And sometimes what you see in people scares you more than anything, because you know that's how actually, really, truly, deeply ugly they are. And that scares you. I understand where you're coming from. I've been through that as well. But you also have to understand that if you are working on yourself, if you are developing your skills, if you're developing your representation in this world, if you study like life, if you educate yourself about everything that you like and put your soul into things, then you are gonna attract people just like you. And if in the past you have attracted fake people, that's because you were also fake. And I know that sounds harsh, but Please accept this as a guidance, not as a way to hurt you, because I'm not trying to hurt you here. The colors are kind of catchy because we do have a lot of black, and these cards they have very different pictures in it. So I see the main topic here, that you see the world as a little bit too black. Like you see the world as black and white, but mostly you see the black side of it, the dark side of it, the ugly side of it, and it's almost like I want to cry because the last piece of good and nice and positive is kind of slipping through my hands. That's the kind of feeling I got. Maybe it's hard for you to find what to grab on as a beautiful representation of this world. You might not see beauty, you might not see happiness anymore, but that doesn't mean it's not there. It just means that you can't kind of find your grip. And the secret is that you can produce happiness, and it's free. I know everybody tries to sell happiness. It's not sellable, if that's a word. It can't be sold. It can't be bought. You can make it, or you can steal it from someone, but that stolen happiness is not going to last forever. So the only realistic way of achieving happy state of being is for you to make that happiness out of your soul, because you do have beautiful soul. And when you shine bright, when you're like in the sun energy, when you expose yourself, nobody even dares to hurt you. Nobody dares to betray you, because they're like, oh my god, I'm just gonna get burned if I get close to this person with my delinquent self thoughts. Okay. I'm gonna leave this card on top for you to see. So now I want to grab my tarot and kind of take a look at what your trust issues are specifically. That was kind of the main topic. Now I want to see pile 1. What are your trust issues? Okay, these wanted to be together. A broken heart. So this could be related to marriage or relationship. Okay, let's see what we have here. So we do have the 3 of Cups and the Fool coming out together. I feel like you find it difficult to start conversations with people. You find it difficult to start the relationship with people. You might come off a little too strong, because we do have the Strength card here. You hold grudges and you think that you've lost... you lost a lot of... Wait, I need to word this correctly so you can understand what I'm trying to say. So you know how people live through experiences and they live through... Well, basically they go through their life, right? And they experience pain and they experience suffer, and we want those experiences as well so we can cherish the beautiful ones that we have. So this card and this card here together tell me that you're kind of afraid to lose that pain, and you're afraid that your pain didn't mean anything, that your experiences didn't mean anything. They did, and they served their purpose. If you're afraid to lose that I know that sounds weird, but you probably understand what I'm talking about, because you kind of feel it all the time. And if you think about it, that makes total sense, because pain is just as strong of an emotion as happiness. You don't want to lose it. And sometimes we we hold it too much. We hold on to it for too long. So don't worry, your pain was valid. The universe knows that you've been in pain and that you have suffered. Don't be afraid to let those pains go, because something has to go. It's time to let the pain go. You do feel like a hermit. Like I said, you find it difficult to start communications with people. You're probably afraid of new people. You're not sure if they're gonna accept you as you are. We do have the broken heart in the past, the Three of Swords, and the World card in reverse. You could have traveled for your person, for maybe the one that you've been married to or your past relationship. You could have done a lot for this person and gave all of what you had to this person, and they still didn't appreciate it. Well, that's because you were not authentically yourself at the moment. And don't blame yourself, you just couldn't. Some things you only understand later in life, and you're in that moment when you have to understand it now. At that time, back then, you could not. And that's okay. That's the learn and grow process. We do have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And we do have the Hermit here together. You could have walked away from a stable job or a stable resource, and whatever was the reason, that kind of threw you off the ground, so your basic needs are not being fulfilled at the level that you are used to. So you could have given up a strong position in the company, or you could have given up your entrepreneurship because you wanted to do something else, or you just had to do it for some reason. And now you feel like the balance, the stability of your own life is kind of shaky, and that bothers you, which makes you a more vulnerable person and doesn't let you to interact with new people successfully. Okay, that's all I can see here. I'm really trying to cut off the length of my videos. Let me know if you want them long or short, but I can do like an hour and a half reading easily, and for each group, so it's gonna be 5 hours of video material, which is kind of long to load on the YouTube. But yeah, let me know if you like them a little shorter or a little longer, because I can do any length. I'm just trying to make them a little shorter because that's just more comfortable and YouTube notices me more for some reason. Okay, what I want to do next is ask who or what your trust issues are related to. Like, what's the important aspect? So we can find the reason. Kind of what's the reason of your trust issues would be a more correct question. Poverty. Interesting. What is the reason of Piles 1 trust issues? Okay, I'm taking these. What is the reason for Piles 1's trust issues? Wow. Cards are just flying out, and I already see 2-7 adds up to 9, and we have 9 over here. Double confirmation for the Hermit. Why does Pile 1 have trust issues? What is the reason? Okay. What is the reason for Piles 1 trust issues? Okay. Dedication. Interesting. So we do have poverty, unexpected income, message of concern, dedication, a chance, and the pathway. The pathway is the World card in Lenormand, or sorry, not Lenormand, Keeper deck. It's kind of similar to that. So the pathway, and again, this change coming up related to money. So basically, that's a double confirmation for me to tell you that your trust issues, like the root problem, is that you do not feel stable enough in your life to be open and to express yourself as you actually are. You always feel like you need to show a little bit more to be a little bit better, because in the past you've opened up too late in the stage of a relationship and people were like, whoa, who are you? You know? What else do we have here? You don't like you're, again, the root problem could be that people around you have judged you too much regarding your passions and the way you chose to live your life as. It's none of their business. Excuse them. It's none of their business. Your concern is your life, and their concern is whatever they wish to be concerned about, but it's not your life. You don't have to be worried about those people, especially if they're family. I know that the family values are important, and I agree to that 100%, but when family is putting sticks in your wheels and tries to stop you from being who you authentically are, that's just wrong. By all means, that is wrong. You have to find yourself, and you have to be honest with yourself if you want to be happy. And if you want to overcome your issues, trust issues or some other issues, then you have to work through that too. Maybe your family or the people around you kind of think that income is directly related to happiness and stability, and why not? Yes, kind of. We all need money to pay our bills, not just to think about spiritual development and following our passions and dreams. Yes, we do have to make money to live. But the way your trust issues have developed is because your family, I keep saying family, but it could be like, if you don't have much of a family, like I do not have many family members left, so it could be your close friends, and they keep telling you that money, therefore stability, therefore happiness, can only come this way and not the way we're doing it. Because we do have the pathway and change here, so you changed your direction that you were going, and people judged that. And you were concerned about it because their opinion matters to you. You're afraid to be broke, but like we all kind of afraid to be broke. Welcome to reality. Yeah, that's what I see for the reasons of your trust issues. Don't want to keep them up, so what do we want to do? I think that was pretty clear, so I'm not going to pull clarifiers for you guys. I would like to use 3 decks right now to see kind of how to overcome your trust issues, pile 1. So that's the advice part. You already understand the reason. You already see like why this is happening and what you need to do in order to get rid of that. I think you understand that. So now I want to pull the advice and basically how to overcome your trust issues. Spirit, for pile 1, please. How will pile 1 overcome their trust issues? What will help them to overcome their trust issues? Okay. That was a little too many, but okay. The oldest fairy, the Trillium, and the Autumn. And again, number 9 catches my eye. And we do have 25 adds up to 7, and 43 adds up to 7, so we have 7 and 9, which is very interesting energy because that's Hermit and what's it called? Oh my god, I forgot the word. The one that goes really fast with 2 horses, or the Chariot. Sorry, English troubles. Yeah, so I'm going to leave these open right now, and I'm going to pull the rest of the cards out so we can judge them all together. What minerals, stones, or things will help pile 1 to overcome their trust issues? Obsidian. Okay. We have obsidian, we have celest. I'm gonna say that wrong. Celestite, and we have the pearl. Beautiful. And lastly, what do we have? Hold on, I didn't ask the question yet. What will help pile 1 to overcome their trust issues? Retreat. What will help pile 1 overcome their trust issues? Did one of them flip? Okay, never mind. What will help pile 1 to overcome their trust issues? Okay. We have let go. We have strength. Strength again coming out. Retreat. So let's start from the top. We do have the oldest fairy. Perhaps you should seek guidance from older people who lived longer than you have, because the oldest fairy is the wisest fairy as well. He or she or they can help you understand that there is so much more to live up to in your own life. They can describe their experiences, and you can kind of, by comparison, you can kind of understand that whatever you've been going through is valid, but you have to move on. Are they not aligned? Yeah. Okay. With the Trillium, we do have this beautiful fairy sitting alone. And I think you should start to accept your own loneliness as a gift. As you get older, there's not many people who you would want to stick around with. There are not many people or places you would like to go to and really like truly desire to spend to spend time with those people. You could be dyslexic. I'm sorry, you could be dyslexic, and it could be one of your concerns, because that just kind of hit me in the head. I am dyslexic a little bit, but it doesn't affect my speech normally. It usually affects my writing, so your problem could be the speech. Yeah, accept your loneliness as a gift. Right now, I know this may feel like, oh my god, the world keeps living without me in it. Well, that's your choice to step aside and wait for the world to live. You're living, you're just not living the quality and you're not living up to the quality and the speed that you would love to, but you are living. That's the way you live right now. You can't just stop living. Okay? With the autumn here, perhaps that season is important, but also that's the rebirth, and we do have retreat here, the rebirth moment for the earth, when, you know, everything kind of dies off in order to save energy, to save juices and power and water and everything. So during the winter, this can all rest, and then during spring, it can all bloom again. So prepare yourself to collect the resources. Prepare yourself to accept your own value. Because if you do not value yourself, no one will. If somebody would not price iPhone for the fancy iPhone for like $1,500, no one would pay $1,500 for an iPhone. Okay, you understand where I'm coming from? Like, if nobody would price Ferrari for, I don't know how Ferrari costs, like $200, $500. I mean, $500,000. Obviously not $200. Yeah, so people price things because they know their value. You have to hypothetically price yourself. Are you willing to pay the price of your time, your value, your money, if that applies to you, in order to spend them with the people you don't really want to spend them with. Are those people, those experiences worth your value, your time? And if you start looking at that like this, then you don't have to regret not going somewhere, not being with someone, because, you know, they were just not worth your time. And that's very subjective, and it's up to you. That doesn't mean that some people are not worth anything. No. It's the matter of whether or not you want to be with those people. And if you consider them worth your time. That's a subjective perspective, and it's only yours, and it should be yours. Okay. Very powerful energy here. Like, love it. Very clear. So for the stones, we have obsidian, we have celestite, and the pearl. Obsidian helps to protect your car, your home, especially, what's it called, the word for like all things attached to the ground and having value? I forgot that. So like cars, apartments, houses, properties. Obsidian is great to protect those things. So protect your home from invaders, from people you don't want to spend time with. And I mean, it's okay to tell them not to come, and you can make up whatever reason you feel comfortable saying. You don't have to oblige their desire to be with you. You don't have to fulfill their wishes at the cost of your own happiness, your time. So time seems to be a very important thing for you in this reading. And in general life, time is pretty important. Something you cannot buy and you cannot gift. Also, like, I've come to realize that trust is just as valuable as time, because you can develop love, but without trust, love isn't worth much, because you can't fully love a person without trusting them at least a little bit. And time is the most precious thing in the world, because nobody can buy you more time, or nobody can make you live forever, only like metaphorically speaking. They can preserve your life for some time, but they cannot extend your time forever. So time is your most valuable asset that you have. So for the stones, we do have celestite as well. I'm not very familiar with that stone, but we do have knowing. Oh, by the way, obsidian says true self-reflection, and just knowing your true self-reflection, knowing who you really are. Explore yourself while you're in self-confinement, while you're in isolation from people, while you're gathering those resources. Know your worth and know yourself. If you don't know yourself, get to know yourself. Okay, and with the pearl, we have purity. Purity of heart grants purity of mind, and purity of mind grants purity of actions. Wow, that was very smart of me to say, but I have no idea what it means. So, basically, when your mind is clear, you can see your path clearer. You don't have to see it all the way to the finish line, but you can open up those next 50, 100 meters ahead of you, or a couple of miles ahead of you. That's what purity of mind helps you to achieve. You can see where to go next. You can see your next move. Even if you don't see it completely, you can at least choose the direction. And lastly, we have retreat. Spoil yourself in the morning mist. Breathe in nature's sweet scents. Yeah, learn to enjoy simple things. Like I said, you see too much darkness. You don't see happiness. You have to learn how to manifest that happiness from inside out. Breathe in nature's sweet scents. What can help you to develop your chakras, like the second chakra, especially if you're a woman. I keep telling you guys this, that you can develop the strength of your energetical centers by developing the strengths of your what's it called, senses. Yes, so like smell, vision, hearing, and so on and so forth. Touch. Okay. We have let go. Enjoy the pulsing light of the firefly, but don't hold on too tight. Yeah, nobody will diminish your experiences of pain, but it's time to let go. It's time to let go of those pains, of those experiences. I know they're valid. I know they mean a lot to you, and they've made you who you really are, and they've helped you to acknowledge who you are and open up to yourself. But you have to let go. It's time to move on. Okay, and we do have strength here. When your roots are deep, you need not fear the storm. Like I said, when you have the stable base, when you know who you are, when you know your value, and you present that to people, no one even dares to touch you. No one dares to hurt you because they know the bounce back will be so freaking hard that they will die. Perhaps even physically. There are some people you don't want to mess with, and you want to develop that energy. That's what's going to help you achieve more communicable self. Okay. Awesome. Pile 1. That concludes your reading. I will stop here because I think I said enough. All the decks used today will be linked down in the description box. If you have any topics for the readings that you would like to hear from me, then post them in the comments. If you would like to share your experiences of how this reading resonated with you, please share. It's really awesome to read those kind of comments because, I love them. Thank you so much for leaving them. And yeah, thank you, Pile 1, for choosing me to be your reader today. I hope you overcome your trust issues, and I hope you live happy, long, wholesome life for as long as you want to. Okay? Pile 1, I'll see you in the next reading. Bye! Hello and welcome, Pile 2. You guys chose the Gilded Tarot. This is going to be a reading about your trust issues. I'm going to put the tarot aside for now. The first question I'm going to ask is, what are your trust issues? And I'm going to use the archetype deck cards of... Wow, okay, that was a big brain fart. I'm going to use the archetypes deck to see what kind of nature of your trust issues is. So, let's see. For Pile 2, Spirit, what are Pile 2's trust issues? Okay, for you guys, for your group, I would like to pull 4 cards. For group number 1, there was only 3. For you, we have 4. We have the womb, we have the vision, the sustainer, and the creator. Interesting. Immediately I get the message about you are afraid to put your artwork like for people to see, because we do have the creator, the sustainer, and the vision. Those 3 cards tell me that you do create something, you do make something, but you're afraid to share it. You don't trust people to nurture and cherish it the way you do, because we do have, you see, like hands holding something. We do have the hands gently holding like the world over here. And we do have the womb, which is basically where you feel the safest and the most comfortable when you're not yet born into this cruel world, and so on and so forth. So your trust issues is probably related to whatever you do, like the art you create, or if you're not an artist or some sort of creative person, then just what you present to this world. Hold on a sec. Oops. Sorry. So, the nature of your trust issues is you're afraid to leave your comfort zone, to share your experiences, to share your knowledge, whatever you create. Maybe yourself, you're afraid to share yourself with people because you feel like they're not going to cherish you and appreciate you as much as you would do. So I don't think you have a problem with self-love, which is very good. Not many people do not have that issue. So yeah, that's a win. Good job, guys. But yeah, if you're an artist, if you create something and you're afraid to share it, what's the point of your creation for the big picture in this world? No, don't get me wrong. I also do create just for myself and for the admirers, but artists receive energy when they share their art. It's sun energy. Okay, when we create something, either with our hands or with our minds or the vision that we have, and we share it, we change the world. Even if it's a little change, we do change the world. Without your art being out in the public, without other people looking at it and judging it, yes, that's a process too, the world is not going to change. Nothing is going to move unless you show it to someone. It's very interesting because I kind of expected deep psychological issues, but it's just, I'm happy that it's not that bad as I kind of expected to see when I started this reading. The most important thing is that you have to remember that you love yourself, and you have to remember your self-worth. And even if people judge your art, your creation, if they don't cherish it, it's their problem. You know what I mean? If somebody... Okay, I have a very good example, and I think iPhones serve a good purpose for this entire reading, not just your pile. But in my childhood, everyone around me, almost everyone, except for like 1% of people, had really good phones. As a child from adequate family who did not believe in children needing technology at all, I was growing up without a phone. Then I got a like really crappy bad one that was like 2 colors, and it was super small Nokia. You could kill someone with it. Then I got another one just like that, but like it was colorful. And I got my first touch sensor kind of phone without buttons when I was 13. And I really cherished that gift. I really cherished that change in my life, that I can be as good as everybody else, you know, like how kids think. But by the time I got my first sensor phone, everybody had like iPhones, and I had like old little Samsung kind of phony. So for me, that phone was very cool, and there was something like, wow, this is my child, you know. I was carrying it around, so probably it was bright pink. Yeah, so it was quite a good phone, but comparing to others, my phone was not valuable to them, so everybody was laughing at me because I didn't have as good phone as they did. They had iPhones and I had a stupid Samsung, you know. So same with you here. If you don't value your own phone, and everybody makes, your art, your creation, everybody around will be able to shake your ground, will be able to judge you, no matter how deeply in love you are with your own artwork. If you are deeply in love with whatever you do, if you do it from the bottom of your heart, if you create something, this is a great power. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone can just take the thought out of their brains and put it into something and make it a physical object or something you can look at. You know, it's like magic, but in a cooler way because you can actually see the result. You know, so if you value your own art, if you baby your own art, if you cherish it, and if you love your creations, even if other people don't, your love is enough. The value you put into that creation might not mirror, it might not resonate with the kind of love and appreciation other people express towards it. But if you love it, that's all that matters. Because your job as a creator, as an artist, to create something. And then if you feel proud and in love enough with your artwork, share it. How people are going to react to it is none of your business. If I come into your store and I see the picture on the wall that you've spent 60 hours painting and I don't really like it because it's not my thing, how can you judge me? It's just my opinion. And even if I say it to you in a very rude way, which I will never do, but if someone does that, then it's just, it speaks about them, not about your art. So, okay, as long as your creation is loved by you, it's valid and it has potential to live up to your highest dreams and demands for this art. Sorry, I kind of overloaded you with the information, but we also have, if you're not an artist or if you are an artist, also one more message is that you don't feel safe to step out of your own kind of loving, hugging energy. You don't really, you see people, you have this like a little bit of a child position to things where you're afraid to let other people interfere with your vibe. You don't like adults telling you what to do. You don't like people, the cactus kind of people with their needles, pointy things, and sharp objects to tear your bubble. I mean, that's a part of a growing up process, that's a part of developing process, but if you can't really work through that, there's no working through your trust issues. It is very, very, very interesting. For some of you, this trust issue could be related to giving birth, to making children, to making little humans. Because we do have like hands over here, and it looks like a belly. And we do have the womb. And specifically to carrying a baby, not the birth process, not the growing up process, but like carrying the baby. Maybe your mother had issues while carrying you, or maybe, and I'm very sorry if you did, you've lost a child while carrying, and that kind of messed with your energy. It's very difficult to overcome, but you are strong enough to at least try. Okay? Oof, I would like to leave this card, the Vision, on top. And I also got one more message while I was putting that deck away. So you don't have to live up to somebody else's expectations. And I think that's the message that I was trying to word out while I was reading about the creation and the artist. So you don't have to live to somebody else's expectations. You can go and be happy with your crappy little pink Samsung while everybody has iPhone and expects you to have iPhone. Okay. Anyway, moving on to the next deck. I would like to see who or what your trust issues are related to. So, actually, you know what? No. Moving on to the tarot. Sorry, I messed up. I would like to see what are your trust issues are. More deeply, more specifically. Okay. What is pile 2's trust issues? Okay. What do we have here? You could be British or Australian. I don't know why this is important. It really isn't, but that's like a double confirmation. Or somehow related to Australia, because I heard that voice in my head with the you know how Australians speak the very specific form of English, like the not the accent, but I think that's the accent, but like the way they phrase things sometimes and the way they speak is so beautiful, but it's very specific. So for some of you, Australia could be important. We do have the Knight of Pentacles and Queen of Wands as the only upright cards, which is kind of interesting. I don't want to dive too much into parenting side of things, but we do have the King of Cups and the Knight of Cups in reverse and Knight of Pentacles upright. Your parents or you as a parent could have been struggling with providing the best of the best of the best for your family, and this has awakened some fears regarding the person you are. So like, if I can provide or give out the best I can, then I'm a bad person, then I'm not passionate enough, then I'm not expressive enough, then I'm not enough. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You have to allow yourself to be human for once. For God's sake, you just be human. You are enough because you live this life, you are in this life, and you deserve to be who you are for as long as you want to. Okay? Oof. It is a complex energy to read because you're probably the creative people, and creative people always have this chaotic minds where they're like, oh, how about this, how about that, no, there's a fire, there's a water, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, boom, and you stop for 5 seconds, and then again, oh, I see the leaves, oh, I see the trees, maybe we can make a baby. What does he think of me? Do I like this hair color? Do I want to make I don't know. So like, you understand, like the chaotic minds are hard to read, but with the trust issues that you're experiencing is mostly being afraid to rely on someone because you want to be enough. It's like your own independency is cutting you off from people and relationships, perhaps, that where you will not feel as independent and as enough of a person. That's why you're like avoiding communications and relationships, and maybe you go like on 1 or 2 dates, maybe you have fun with people, but for building a family, for having a child, especially like it's related to children very much, you're like, well, I'm not ready to have family because I'm not enough of a mother or a father. Enough. Like, I'm not enough yet. And you will never be enough. If every mother in the world thought that she's not ready to be a mother because she's not enough, none of us would be born. That's my mom's words. None of us would be born if somebody was waiting for the great moment to have children. Sometimes they just appear in our lives and they either bring you happiness and joy, or they make your life hell, or both at the same time, which is totally fine. Okay, we do have the Hanged Man in reverse, so at the same time, you're afraid to lose your unique abilities, your unique perspective, and afraid to share it, because we do have Ace of Wands in reverse as well. It's like you're a passionate person. You have so much inside of you, but you're never expressing it enough because you're afraid that once you do, you're either going to be too basic or not enough. Which is valid concerns for a creative person, but remember, creators have the power of manifestation. The more you put thought and energy into that process of fearing the life, the more it's going to manifest in your life. Okay, we do have 7 of Cups in reverse and 6 of Swords in reverse, which tells me that you are, again, afraid to lose your various talents, your various cups filled with goods. Once you step into a relationship with someone, you're afraid to lose yourself and who you are once you express that art, once you share it with someone. It could be not your art specifically, but it could be like your love. Once you share yourself, a part of your world with someone, you're afraid that people are just gonna be like, that's easy, or that is basic. And you're like, well, why did I share that? That really hurts. But again, if you love your own creation, that is enough. A mother's love is one of the strongest things in the world. And this is not the first reading where parenting issues are coming up, so if you're the person who was watching the same pile 2 weeks ago, the video that I posted about issues with the parents, you are strong enough to be your own goddamn woman or man or whatever you are. You don't have to rely on the opinions of your parents or their blockages of their life experiences. You have your own. But yeah, basically trust issues, and the root problem of your trust issues is that you're afraid to lose yourself, your uniqueness, by sharing with people. You're afraid to be worthless. Okay, that was deep, my friends. That was deep. Okay. Now, more specifically, that's why I wanted to take this deck as the third deck. What or who your trust issues are related to? More specification, please. What is the root problem, or who is the root problem? For pile number 2 in their trust issues. Okay. I only want 4 cards, which is a little bit unusual for this deck. There are no reversals for this deck, so I'm gonna flip all of them the right position. Message of concern, poverty, false person, toil, and labor. Again, the message of being basic is coming up. Living the same life as your parents or as people around you. You don't really want that. You don't want to be basic, and who can blame you? I don't want to be basic either, so I'm doing tarot readings. We do have false person. Perhaps you see there was a person in your life who was poor and told you, like, you have to work hard, you have to do it this way, not the other way, to be rich. But can you really take advice from a poor person on how to live your life and become rich? No, that would be so stupid. Although we do often take advice on how to live our lives from people who live not the best life or not the kind of life we want. So I feel like somebody tricked you into thinking that your passions, your talents are not enough to survive in this world. They are, as long as you develop them, as long as you pay attention and do something good for this world. I think you have ability to make them profitable and valuable, and to make people believe that they're valuable. Okay. What else? Message of concern and the poverty. You could have received, maybe recently, a message about losing some money, or the trends in media has the trends in media that are changing, or some changes in the world. We are going through crisis right now, so that's kind of expected to receive those kind of messages, like the price for eggs is so high, the gas prices got high, then they dropped a little bit, then they stayed kind of high too. So you receive all of those messages, and it makes you confirm the words of this false person. But they are appearing as a false person for a reason. They lied to you. They tricked you because they didn't have enough juice. They didn't have enough energy. They didn't have enough desire or talent or skills to achieve the life they wanted, if they ever wanted one. And they decided that, well, if nobody is if I'm not happy, then no one is gonna be happy, which is messed up, but that's what they did. And we do have it with number 8, so it could be the karmic person in your life. We do have repeating 38 as well. It could be a woman, because we do have repeating 3s, which is the Empress card. And we only have the woman. On the cards without the trees, we have a woman as well. So it could be your mother, grandma, or some auntie, or just some random person that you kind of paid attention more than you would have wanted to. You know, some people on the street just come up to you, say a random thing, and you overthink it for 2 months later. Yeah, that kind of person. Okay. Now that we identified the problem and your trust issues, I would like to pull cards on how to fix it, how to overcome your trust issues, because what's the point of the reading? Just to know that information. Okay. What will help pile number 2 to overcome their trust issues? How can pile 2 overcome their trust issues? Okay. So for you guys, the cards are just flying out, and this deck is not very talkative. It's kind of shy because it's a fairy deck. We do have Devotion, Chocolate Brownie Fairy, and Jewel of the Sea. This deck is the stones, so I would like to pull some minerals and stones that are going to help you overcome your trust issues, or whatever knowledge that the universe wants to share. Botswana Agate, Breathe, Clear Quartz, Light Embodied, and Sulfur, Physical Radiance. Again, the Sun Energy, double confirmation. And last deck that I would like to use. Let's see, advice for pile number 2 on how to overcome their trust issues. Universe, speak up. Okay, last card, please. Advice for pile number 2, Spirit. Hope. That's beautiful. Hope Michelson, if you are into Vampire Diaries, or what's the second part of this thing. She is a disastrous child. Like, if you think about Hope Michelson, she's everything. She is all good and all bad combined into one human being that has to cope with so much, but still has to do some good things. You know, like, it's hard to be Hope Michelson. Okay, let's start from the top and move our way to the bottom. Devotion. Interesting. So I think if you are in a relationship, your partner can help you. But in general, you see how this fairy man is sitting kind of on the knees and listening to the fairy girl? I feel like believing in each other, if you are in a relationship, and like looking at the positive sides, the good sides of each other, will help you see your own, will help you find your own strength, and will help you see your own value. Because I don't feel like you don't love yourself necessarily, you do. But it's like you don't feel enough. And if somebody, if you are in a relationship, if you have a partner, if somebody chose to spend their time with you voluntarily, you didn't kidnap them, you didn't put a gun to their head and tell them, hey, you live with me now. Somebody voluntarily chose to spend a part of their life with you. This is so valuable. This is so important. That means for them, you are enough, and you are more than enough for them. So ask them about this. Talk to your partner. If you are single, then you can observe other people in the couples that you actually like and admire, or you can just observe people from above. Sort of find positive things in other people, and then you will be able to find strength to share your art. Read biographies, read stories of people around you. Not all success stories are actually success stories. There are so many businessmen and artists that did not have popularity until later in life, which is totally fine, but watch how their attitude changed. Watch how they have achieved the level they are at right now. There's one very popular artist on Instagram, or like Divin Art, Lois, or Louis, it's Lois, and I don't remember, is there an A? I don't remember how to spell it, but she creates digital art, mainly, and the way she interacts with people is so caring, is so nice and positive, but at the same time, you look at her and you're like, I don't want to disrespect this person. They know their self-worth. I don't want to mess around with this person because I know how many hours and decades of work she put into her art. So you want to become that kind of person that nobody wants to mess with in terms of like hurting their art. Learn to protect your boundaries, but not like, oh my God, don't touch my baby, you bastard. No, they're like, look at how gorgeous my art is. Do you really have the gut to destroy it? Really? Go ahead. See the consequences for yourself. That kind of attitude. That's what you want to develop. Next we have Chocolate Brownie Fairy. Perhaps you have a little bit of sweet tooth and you like to eat chocolate, but she's kind of sad. And you see how she's holding that little chocolate, she's not sharing with people. And the next card we have Jewel of the Sea, and the dragon, the fairy dragon, and the mermaid fairy are kind of, she's holding that flower and the dragon kind of gave it to her. Learn how to share. Whatever it is you do, learn how to share. You don't have to share it with people you don't like. Although if you're an artist and you have like Instagram or some public domain where you share your artwork, people are gonna see it. But you can totally block the haters. You can delete the bad comments. If you genuinely believe in what you create and what you make, it has potential and it has value. If you love it, keep doing it. It's gonna be more joyful for you than just selling yourself short and going to a normal job and doing normal things that some false person told you is the only way to make money or is the only way to live. Okay? Oof! Learn to share. And basically also here, learn to share your experiences with your partner as well. If you're like too quiet and you're holding your feelings back and you're not very into sharing, they would love to hear that from you. They would love to see what's inside of you, because you're beautiful inside. I can see that you're a multidimensional person. Like basically you have so many sides to you, like a kaleidoscopes. Like you, everyone would love to see that. Every adequate normal person would at least take a glance at you if you were to share your art or your creation, or just be proud of what you've made, even if it's a child. Okay, moving on to the next row, we have Botswana agate with breathe, clear quartz with light embodied, and sulfur with physical radiance. Again, physical radiance and jewel of the sea and the chocolate brownie fairy tells me about the sharing, the need for expansion, the need for growth. Yeah, that's the word. And with breathe, it's like make your life full of what you love to do. Fill your life with art if that's what you love to do. Even if nobody notices you, make your life your dream life. Because you don't live, like a draft. You don't get to live a draft. That's your actual life right here. That's your canvas and you're already painting it. And if you don't change it right now, the end picture is going to be sad. Good thing about canvas in life, you can actually paint over something once it's dry, but you have to let it dry first. You have to let go of those bad things or like unhappy things that people convinced you have to believe in. You don't. I give you permission to forget about that. I give you permission to not believe that person. And I personally give you permission to be happy, because why not? Why the hell not? With clear quartz and light embodied. Clear quartz is actually a great stone for cleansing. What a surprise. But it's a beautiful stone that anyone can wear. It doesn't have any interferences that it can be bad, like combining with other stones or different energies or some sick people. Everyone can wear clear quartz. It's safe to use, so if you have access to that, be my guest. Buy some for yourself. It's a great stone for chaotic minds. Like I said, creative people have way more complex minds than normal people without fantasy. We live in a dreamland that has 102 million keys and even more keyholes that we can open and close at the same time, and not many people understand that. But if you have access to those visions, to that information, to that beauty, to all of this, to the world, and you would like some clarity and organization, clear quartz is your stone. Okay, lastly, we have dance. Allow yourself some fun each day, just as the sun dances with the moon each night. If you are thinking that you're you have duality to yourself, you're like, you can be very, very quiet and then very, very outgoing and happy and ridiculously crazy, and people are like, what the hell just happened? I knew the entirely different person. And you're actually both of these things. Embrace it. That's your way out. And with allow yourself some fun each day. Well, duh. Like I said, you don't live a draft. You live your actual canvas. Next we have journey. Branch out to new worlds. Like I said, express yourself and explore new possibilities, especially with your partner, if you have one. If you don't, express the relationship with yourself. Explore the relationship with yourself. Learn about your own beautiful world and let other people see it as well. And lastly, we have hope. An idea like a single acorn can start a wonderful forest. A wondrous forest, my bad. Yeah. If you let this one little thing escape and you express that beauty out, you will give it growth. People around you who support you truly will give it growth. They will nurture it just as you do it. Maybe not just as you do it, but like on the enough to let it expand and grow into a beautiful tree, and then the forest, and then the planet. Okay? So yeah, pile 2, that concludes your reading. Thank you so much for sitting through. All the decks used today are linked down in the description box. If you would like to order a private reading or a cleansing ritual with tarot, hit me up on Etsy. Yeah, support my social media and let me know if you have any requests for the next videos. I'm very much struggling with choosing a topic. So yeah, if you would like to hear something, let me know. Also, if you would like to share how the information resonated with you today, please do, because that's awesome to read. I love those comments. Yeah. Pile 2, thank you so much, and I will see you at your next reading. Bye! Hello and welcome, Pile 3. You guys chose the Vice Versa Tarot with the Tower card on top. This is going to be your reading all about your trust issues. I'm going to put the tarot aside and start pulling the cards regarding your trust issues. So I'm going to use the archetype deck to kind of pinpoint what your trust issues are all about. Ooh, sorry. Okay, let's see. For pile number 3. What are pile number 3's trust issues? Okay. Beautiful. We have the Temple. We have the Destroyer. Oof. And we have the Maiden. Very interesting. If you are a female, somebody has intervened your physical barrier, like somebody unwanted. It's actually difficult for me to say, but your trust issues could be related to a male or a masculine energy interfering with your physical body, with your physical protected body. So your body is a temple, and we have the Destroyer over here. This could be related to physical abuse of all different sorts, but mostly I'm seeing the unwanted intercourse between man and the woman, where in which case you are the woman. Yeah, I'm so sorry if that is your case. Mostly I see, if that's not the case for you guys, I see like a person who caused the trust issues is very specific one. So it's not like it's a complex problem, but more likely the experience was that one person that caused so many problems and so many issues. I feel like for most of you this is a masculine energy. If not, well, it could be masculine energy of an older person as well. If it's a female, it's probably not your pile, because I very prominently read dominant masculine energy here. Maybe you experience trust issues with this specific person, and if so, you don't have to push yourself to overcome them. If that's just one person and doesn't affect anybody else, which I think in any case it will be, but like if that's just one person you're uncomfortable with, that's your right as a human being to be freaking uncomfortable with someone, and you don't have to push yourself to make yourself comfortable around a person you don't really like. Okay? I see different pictures coming into my mind, and I don't really want to display them on YouTube, but I do see an older person, an older masculine person, interfering with a young girl's space and body. So take that as it resonates. If it's not literal, it could be like people, like your father or some masculine figure, to interfere with your space, like barging into your room, destroying your peace, barging into your space, sort of like my biological father used to do that. He would come into my room without knocking and say, "You live in a trash can," or "You live in the garage," and I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do then? And I was a child, so that could be the case as well, and your trust issues are valid. And if you don't like people interfering with your space because of that person, well, I wouldn't want to be interfered in my own safe temple, the safe space. I wouldn't want to be, I wouldn't want to be touched in my safe space. I would want to be safe in my safe space. With the maiden here, I feel like you feel obliged to obey this person, and it causes you not, you don't trust them, but it causes you to, how do I put it? Serve them. It's the best word I could find. Take it as it resonates. You feel a need to satisfy them, and it could be something other than the obvious. It could be like, oh, I have to be a good wife, or I have to be a good servant, meaning like cook, clean, and receive punches and fists in return. So that is your mind that is not very, very healthy at the moment. If you are sensitive to that sort of information, I suggest you click off that video, because I already feel the heavy weight of information that is about to come in. So if you're not comfortable with hearing what I have to say, please don't. Okay? Just save your own nerve cells. I'm gonna put these cards aside, and I'm gonna start with your tarot. You did pull the Tower card, which tells me that at this moment when you are seeing this reading, is a moment of change for you, and you are seeking guidance in terms of the decision to make. If you are, please stay put. We're gonna figure out as much as we can. Okay, those are double-sided cards, so I'm gonna have to. So I'm sorry, like I can't find words for the kind of information I just read, but I'm gonna have to. What's the word? Shuffle. Thank you. I'm gonna have to shuffle those cards 4 ways. Upside down and reversals versus uprights. Okay. This way? Okay. Jesus. Let's see in depth why you have trust issues. Let's see what they're all about and the root problem. Let's see. For pile number 3, Spirit, please. I heard lost, not found. You could be adopted. This person could be your stepfather or like step-grandfather. We do have the Hermit at the bottom. I'm gonna keep it here for now. Okay. Let's see. We have the Eight of Cups upright with the falling star. What do we have on the bottom? The sun and the moon. I feel like somebody has ripped you off your happiness in the big picture, like not just, oh, I feel happy in my mind, but it's a big chunk of your life. Someone ripped it off of you, and you don't trust people to, if they enter your life, you don't expect them to leave your life and leave your resources to you when they do leave. You expect that rip-off from everybody else entering your life, which is kind of sad, but bear with me, we're gonna figure this out. We do have the Seven of Wands in reverse with the Seven of Swords upright. And again, the rip-off. I feel like you don't, at one point in your life, you didn't want to live anymore because of that. And like I said, this reading is going to be a little heavy on the info, so prepare yourselves. If you're not comfortable with hearing that, click off. If you're under 18, click off immediately. And so let's keep going. At one point in your life, you did not feel like you have anything to live for. You could have attempted to take your own life. If that's the case, I'm glad you're still with us. With the Seven of Cups in reverse and Four of Pentacles in reverse, I see that you offered this person so much. You offered literally everything that you had, and they still took more than you had. So again, this specific man is coming through very heavily. We do have, I believe this is a Knight of Swords and the King of Swords. But it's like, you see how the Knight of Swords is in reverse, and it's also, it's from the back. So it's not like he's looking at us. It also could be the Queen. I just realized, but no, it's probably the King. And the Knight of Swords is in reverse, but it's looking at you. So that tells me that this story has probably happened a long time ago, but you still do not trust people because of that. You still hold on to those pains and to those uncomfortable memories, and you're too attached emotionally to that sick relationship with that person. And I cannot find a better word, and I'm very sorry if you feel differently, but what I'm seeing is that it's not healthy relationship. It's toxic and it's extremely painful. But we do have Hermit at the bottom of the deck, which I chose to keep here. That tells me that you're still living a loner's life. You don't let people near you, and for obvious reasons, you don't let men into your life. We do have the Ace of Pentacles, Eight of Swords in reverse. And the Five of Wands, where people are kind of fighting. It's hard to read, but like, this person took something very important to you and never returned it, and you tried to fight back, but you're represented as this person right here, the Eight of Swords. You cannot just unfree yourself, and I think you guys need more help. We're gonna look deeper into what to do to overcome your trust issues, but so far I think you would need to ask a professional psychiatrist or some sort of professional to help you with that, because this is too heavy for one person to bury. It's hard, and it's not that complex. Maybe it is complex, but not like chaotic complex way. It's a lot to overcome for one person. But you are very strong. It's just you're like, at this moment in your life, you're more on the cold side. You don't really invite people into your space anymore, and why would you, honestly? So this was the information about you, about your trust issues and their potential reasons. Now I want to take a look at what your trust issues, or who your trust issues are related to. See more situational aspects. So let's see, for pile number 3, please. What are their trust issues related to, or who? Expectation, official person, pathway, mature man, wealthy man, a child. My God. What's this show called? There's scenes from Ginny in Georgia popping in my head right now. And not like the early life, but sort of how she raised Ginny. And their adult, mature talk that they had. Perhaps that's significant for you. Maybe you had that talk, or maybe you want to have that talk with your mom, or with somebody like an expert, like a professional. So let's read your cards. We have expectation, we have official person, pathway, mature man, wealthy man, and the child. So again, this man could be, this could be a married man. This could have been a person with status. We do have the Keeper card, 22, which is one of the strongest cards in this deck. That tells me that this person had a lot of control over you. They could have had status, they could have had money and resources to really control you, or they could have stolen that from you. Though I don't really see the money aspect being stolen from you, I just see like the energy ripoff. You expected something different. Maybe you expected to have a baby with this person. Maybe you were a baby at the time that happened. And you expected your life, you expected this person to be different. You did not expect this kind of betrayal happening to you. With number 18, I see the Moon card coming up. The Moon card in Tarot is number 18. And that tells me there is a lot of emotional baggage related to this situation. Obviously so, if what I'm seeing is 100% resonating with you, please seek professional help from the psychiatrist, because that is too old and too heavy of a baggage for you to carry on your own. I don't see that this is your biological father, though for some of you that could have been. Like I said, the interfering with the space. This could be your father, but mostly I'm seeing an older man who was welcomed into your family, or if you do not or did not have a family at the time, just welcomed into your space where you were at. It definitely happened some time ago, probably a longer period of time. Okay. The fact that these 3 cards even popped out in the same questions out of 6 cards that I pulled out is a quadruple confirmation that we're talking about one specific man. For you guys, for your pile, I would like to pull out some clarifiers. You can skip this part if you feel like skipping this part, but I need more details on the type of resource that you need to get back in order to help yourself, because right now you're like an empty jar or an empty vase, and you need something to fill yourself up with before you can move on. So I need to know what kind of resource should you be seeking in order to overcome your trust issues. What kind of resource does pile 3 needs to gain right now before they move on? The moon card. Before they can move on. What kind of resource does pile 3 need to return before they can overcome their trust issues? What kind of resource was taken and needs to be returned? The Lovers, Page of Cups, 9 of Wands, Queen of Cups. Okay. We do have the Moon card here again, double confirmation. Page of Cups and the Lovers came out together. Knight of Wands. And we do have the Queen of Cups. What is it? The Page of Swords in reverse. And the Page of Pentacles. Wow. Okay, guys. With the Moon here, the Page of Cups, and the Lovers, I see that you need to return your love. I don't see how this is gonna work unless you work it out with the professional. However, I do have some tricks to help you that could help you. You can write this person a letter expressing your thoughts and sending this baggage back to them. That's one of the choices you have before seeking professional help, because this will help you to word out the problem that you want to ask help for. Another thing you can do is just start feeling something. I know that sounds ridiculously rude right now, but work through your senses. You can start from the very bottom, the first chakra. You can start by smelling something good. You need to start feeling again. If you want to overcome those trust issues, you need to start feeling again. And in your situation, feeling anything was so painful that you just shut yourself away with the Hermit. But if you want to overcome those issues, you need to start feeling again. And it doesn't have to be feeling for people or other living creatures, okay? It can be feeling the world around you. Knowing, learning, exploring the world around you. The reality. So you need to understand where you are at. Like, find yourself in the physical space, present in the moment. That's very important. With the Knight of Wands, I see that you need the spark back, the freedom, the spark. That's also kind of related to love and emotions. The Queen of Cups, also same thing. That's gonna come first. That needs to come first. I feel like you've started that journey already. If you clicked on this video and you're actually listening to what I'm saying, you already started working through that problem. Because the first thing to work through any problem is to admit you have a problem. I feel like you have already did. But you're gonna have to return your emotions back if you want to work through this. You need to start feeling again. You need to start understanding yourself, exploring your own body, your own mind, because for so many years, for some of you could be decades, you lived in understanding of your own body and the world around you from a perspective of that man, of that person, of that creature, the Destroyer card, okay? And nobody can decide what you are for yourself. You need to do it yourself. You need to learn your own boundaries, both physical and mental. That's before you go to a professional, okay? Whew. Now I would like to pull out some cards on how to overcome your trust issues. Please remember that I already said it like 5 times. You need a professional help. Most of you will have to ask someone else for help, pay some money for it, and actually go and, work through that crap. But it is difficult. It is going to be hard, but if you want to live your life, that's the way out. Okay, so now let's see how you will overcome the trust issues, what you need to do to overcome your trust issues. What does pile 3 need to do to overcome their trust issues? We have devotion, we have thinking of you, and we have Magnolia. Interesting. Okay. Now I want to pull some crystals or some extra information. Same question. How to overcome your trust issues. What will help you? What will help pile number 3 overcome their trust issues? Green tourmaline was enlightenment. Amber was luffer. I can never read this word. Apophyllite was astral travel. I'm a strong believer that very bad events happen for a reason, or like all events happen for a reason, and the astral travel card tells me that you might want to also approach this problem from a spiritual side of view, not just working with a specialist on your mind, but also working with like a massage therapist, for example, or a person who can help you rewrite your past. I know that sounds crazy and normally it's undoable, but someone who can help you solve your karma is a good help as well, but only in addition to the psychiatric help. Okay, let's see. Advice for pile number 3 on how to overcome their trust issues. For pile number 3, Spirit. Wow. Okay. We have journey, humility, and growth. Let's start reading from the top. With the devotion here, like I said, you are going to need to find a person you deeply trust and enlighten them about your problems. Enlighten them about your experiences. They're going to have to be in a position of a listener to help you out. If you now are in a relationship, which I doubt you are, but if you happen to be in a relationship, talk to your partner about it. If you are now in a relationship and you never told them about what happened to you, I think it is time you can share this story freely, and that will help you to free yourself from the past. Okay, we do have thinking of you, number 55. Like I said, you're gonna have to learn how to be you and how to be human and have rights and have feelings, how to feel again. With Magnolia, I do have this essential oil here with magnolia. It smells delicious. I'm very sorry you cannot smell it through, but magnolias actually help women to acquire that sense of self-worth. I know you don't have to believe in that, but I believe in that. And it actually promotes positive thinking and the feeling of self-worth, and that's what you guys need. So you might use like magnolia essential oil, or if you have magnolias around you, just go for a walk and smell them. They smell deliciously. Yeah, so definitely work on your self-worth, thinking of yourself. It's not thinking of you as in thinking of that person. No, this is thinking about yourself, who you want to be, who you really are, who would you be, and who would you want to be without that bad experience happening to you. Okay, you are now free, or you will soon be free to be beautiful again. And I don't know why this message is coming through, but maybe you thought that your beauty was the reason why that man has betrayed you so badly. For some of you, not for all of you, but for some of you, you could have chosen to wear simple clothes and not ever dress up, never to do your makeup, never to do your hair. But I'm telling you now that you have freedom to be dressing and to be doing makeup the way you really want to. You're at this point in your life where major change is happening. So accept it or keep being what you are at this moment before that change. Okay, next we have green tourmaline with enlightenment, amber with laughter, and apophyllite with astral travel. So green tourmaline is actually a great stone. It is green, so it helps with heart chakra problems, which is basically your heart, love, feeling, affection, loving yourself, beauty within, self-worth, and so on and so forth. So enlightenment, you, like I said, you're gonna need to learn, explore yourself, and enlighten yourself about who you are and who you want to be, and also enlighten someone else about your problems. Tell your story to someone. It is important. We do have amber here with laughter. You can't just laugh it off. It's not the type of situation that you can just easily forget about. However, amber comes from the trees, so it's like trees' blood, and it is a beautiful stone, like not a stone because it's not really a stone, but like a substance, a matter for healing physical bodies or healing diseases and problems, especially chronic pains. Very good. We've tested it in my family so many times. It works every time, because that kind of stress, that kind of buildup and blockages in the body will definitely cause you diseases, especially if this has been going on for a long time and you've been struggling to express your feelings and thoughts about the situation, about this person, to anyone. That has been building up in your body. This will come out on physical level. So amber is a great stone. It's not too cheap, but like you can find it cheap, and it's very good, especially if you go to some sacred place. Like with astral travel, you could actually travel somewhere. If you live near California, you can go to Mount Shasta. It's a very healing place. You can go to Sedona in Arizona. Also a very beautiful place to be receiving energy and resources back. What else? Yeah, that's like two of my favorite places to go to, so you can try that. With apophyllite and astral travel, like I said, it's important to also look at this problem from a spiritual perspective, not just physical and mental, because when you don't live your own life by destiny, or when you like when somebody steals your happiness, when somebody steals your resources, your love, your energy, by balance rules you have to return it, otherwise you'll die basically. Because if you lose, think about it, there are two batteries, right? If one battery loses everything and gives it to another battery, this battery is no longer here, but this battery is overexpanded, right? So to balance it out, you're gonna need to return it. You're gonna have to return that love back. Like I said, before you go to a professional, you need to start feeling again. You need to unblock that. Okay. Lastly, we have the journey, branch out to new worlds. Like I said, explore yourself. Maybe you would like to travel to some healing place, go to a retreat with a spiritual guide of some sort, or a psychiatrist. I know they do have programs for people with trauma. Like I said in the beginning of this reading, actually horses have inspired me to make this reading, so you might appeal to equine therapy as well. We have humility. Flowers are unaware of each other's beauty. They bloom regardless. Beauty is not to blame in your trauma, in your situation, so feel free to be beautiful and to love yourself no matter what. It's not going to be easy. It never is, but once you kind of get a hold of it, once you feel it for the first time, you're going to know this feeling, and you will never want to let it go. And you will never give it to someone freely anymore, because you're going to understand what I'm talking about once you actually feel it, but I cannot really describe it in words. Okay? The last card you guys have is growth. The tallest oak tree once started as a seedling. Don't be afraid to start something new. Like I said, you are going through a major change in your life. This is a breaking point. Okay? And with the branch out to new worlds as well. Exploration is a big thing this year for you. With astral travel, open up to the things you like to do. Maybe you will do some hobbies. Maybe you'll develop some skills. Go do pottery or horseback riding. Why not? Right? So explore your possibilities, because now you are free to do that, and you have to use that freedom. I mean, you don't have to, but it would be cool, right? You can use your freedom, so why not use it? Okay. That concludes your reading, pile 3. Thank you so much for sitting through. I know this was a lot of information and it was not pleasant, but I really do believe that if you saw this video and if you watched it through the end, you are ready to overcome the issues. And I believe in you, because any trauma, any bad experience, any pain is given to us for a reason, no matter how difficult it is to believe at the moment that this is happening. But only strong people can overcome something like this. So you are strong enough, obviously, if you're still here, if you're still with us. Thank you so much for being that strong, and thank you so much for just living your life and, you know, trying to be a better person and better version of yourself. Okay? If you feel like sharing any information that resonated with you, please do so in the comments. I would love to hear back from you. If you have any suggestions for the topics for the new videos, also put them in the comments. I would be happy to do them for you. All the decks used today are linked in the description box. If you would like to support me or order a private reading or a cleansing ritual with tarot, visit my Etsy, my Instagram, or, you know, support me free ways by leaving a like and subscribing to my channel. Pile 3, I genuinely believe you will have your chance for happiness in life. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards today. And thank you for listening. And I will see you at the next reading. Bye!